PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for me to try to think of something on the fly. And that's why this podcast exists, is to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so you can fall asleep. Normally it's by silly stuff if I can think of something other than silly string, but as soon as that pops in my head, you know. So, this podcast exists because you deserve a good night's sleep. Your sleep is important. It's a little bit different. No, it's a lot different than most other sleep solutions and anything out there. But give it a few tries. See how it goes. Because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that may or may not be able to say the word, starts may or may not with a B. And maybe the podcast that puts you to sleep. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots here, and I'm here with a little bit of a pitch for you. You know, my purpose in making this show is to be here twice a week for free to keep you company in the deep, dark night. But really, the podcast is about feeling less alone in the deep, dark night. And I can definitely relate to that right now, because every time I ask for help, it does feel a little bit scary and lonely for me. But I'm doing this one as a call to adventure. I'm asking you right now to take some heroic action. Join a rebellion in the Deep Dark Night, the Deep Dark Night United, and pay for a free podcast. And the reason to pay for it, beyond the bonus content, beyond paying for something you get something out of, is paying for a show that makes you feel less alone and makes other people feel less alone. That's what the whole podcast existence, that's the foundation of it. Be a supporter of the Deep Dark Night United. Pay for a free podcast. Be a rebel. Become a patron. I need your help. I need your help right now. Being a rebel, a DDNU rebel, paying for a free podcast that makes you feel less alone. So if the show makes you feel less alone and you can afford to pay for the podcast, can you do it right now? You can support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. You save money becoming an annual patron. But if you can afford to do so, the biggest obstacle to getting support for the show a lot of times is people are falling asleep. So I got to ask to interrupt your sleep for a minute. You're a part of the Deep Dark Night United. You're taking heroic, rebellious action, and you're making me feel less alone. You'll feel less alone, and a whole lot of other people feel less alone, because that's really what it's about. We're doing this together in the deep, dark night. But I really am in a position where I need your help right now. If you can afford to pay for a free podcast, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. Type it in your phone, sign up, and then tomorrow you can figure out the bonus content and all that stuff. Thank you so much, my rebels in the deep, dark night. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about our sponsor, Helix Sleep. Have you taken the quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep? You know, there's a chill in the air now. Fall is coming, and there's nothing better than getting that pumpkin spice tea and getting in bed, getting cozy with my Helix Dusk Luxe. Oh, boy. I'm going to be piling those blankets on, getting my tea, getting a nice little book, and making my nesting in my Helix Dusk Luxe. I love it so much. So comfortable. Great for sleeping. Great for chilling. You know, Helix Sleep is a premium mattress brand. It has tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. The Helix lineup has 14 unique mattresses. They've got luxury models, mattresses for big and tall sleepers, even a mattress for kids. But you might be like, how do I know which Helix mattress is best for me? You just take that Helix Sleep quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. You find your perfect mattress under 2 minutes, and your personalized mattress shipped right to your door, free of charge. And Helix knows there's no better way to test out a mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night risk-free trial. You get to try out your new Helix mattress, see how your body adjusts, and if you decide it's not the best fit, you're welcome to return for a full refund. And everybody's unique. Everyone sleeps differently. That's why they have several different mattress models models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. And I speak from experience. I sleep on my stomach, I sleep on my side, I sleep hot. And when I took the quiz, it matched me with the Helix Dusk. I picked the Dusk Luxe, and it's perfect for all that. I don't get hot when I'm sleeping at night. I'm comfortable when I'm on my side. I'm comfortable when I'm on my stomach. I love my Dusk Luxe. Not only is it the best mattress I've slept on, but the setup was fast and easy. Helix mattresses are delivered in a box, shipped right to your door, free of charge. Plus, Helix mattresses are American-made. They come with a 10 or 15-year warranty, depending on the model. And don't forget, you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. If you don't love it, I know you will, but if you don't, they'll pick it up for you and give you a full refund. And Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for Sleep With Me listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. With Helix, better sleep starts now. All right, everybody. And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I can be one of those people that ends up focusing on problems instead of solutions. Like when I forget to charge the batteries of the recorder and the backup batteries aren't charged and the recorder stops in the middle of the recording, and then it just spirals down there, and it's like problem after problem after problem. And then I start thinking, what's going to go wrong next? Instead of thinking about solutions and maybe having a different mindset. It can be tough to train your brain when you're stuck in that problem-solving mode, when you're faced with a challenge in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. And working with a therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. And I'm talking from experience. I go to talk therapy every single week. I recommend it to everyone in my personal life because it works. I have someone to talk about with my problems and my mindset to say, hey, what about this? Maybe you could look at it in a different way. And talk therapy, working with a licensed therapist has helped me get out of that place of just looking at everything like a problem and be like, oh, what about being excited about something? Be excited about a challenge. Therapy has given me so much more than I expected when I started it. It's helped me with my stress. It's helped me with my emotional healing. It's helped me deal with anxiety and depression and give me concrete skills to live my life and to live my life more fully. So if you're thinking about giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable, and entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapists anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It's time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone, the one part of the podcast in each year. It's where I pop my peas. If you please, I thank the listeners who supported the sponsors. That's how we're able to be here for you free twice a week. And I love making this show. Not only is it supposed to take your mind off stuff and put you to sleep, it's here. So hopefully right now, listen to me. You feel less alone in the deep, dark night. Other people are listening too. And you may have heard me asking you, hey, if you support a sponsor, please let me know about it. I'm going to make some changes behind the scenes with the sponsors because the goal is for the show to come out free twice a week. So don't worry, I'm on that. But if I could use your help, if you're in a position to do so, to support the show directly or support a sponsor, let me know about it. Let the sponsor know about it. Or just spread the word about the podcast. Let people know about it for free. It could really use your help. And then let me know so I can say thank you because I appreciate it. I want to be here keeping you company in the deep, dark night. That's my job. And I work really hard at it. So thank you so much. The next part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone is you getting the support you need right now. If you're having a tough time, there's links to resources in the show notes that you could connect with right now. It's also about being a part of positive change, not just saying Black Lives Matter, not just saying stop AAPI hate, not just saying support Ukraine, but learning more and taking action. There's links to resources where you could do that in our show notes. And we're part of a lot of different communities, but one of the community projects we're participating in as a group is building hygiene kits kits for people experiencing homelessness. You could join us. You could take part. I'm driving hygiene kits down to the Midnight Mission. We've got another partner coming up here. Help out. Have fun. Come to free live streams. What more could you ask for? Positive change and being a part of sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission. All the instructions come through that email. And that's it. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Mystery Bard. Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Posty poster son sounds like a near fall. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound or on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. I'm at Dear Scooter on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can find me. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is turn out the... all you do with the bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. If that's possible. You know, not every room has that flexibility. Though I do have night lights. Not the kind of night lights little kids have, judgmental, over-masculine brain. No, I have night lights so I can see, like, on the floor that turn on, so I can find my way to the WC once a night, and, you know, but, what was I saying? Turn out the lights and press play. I'm going to do the rest. And what I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could fall asleep, where you could get some rest. Try to create a safe place. And well, ideally, but you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether that's thoughts on your mind, thoughts about the past, present, the future. So thoughts you're thinking of, thoughts, feelings, anything you're feeling physically that's coming up for you, or feelings that are coming up, emotions about, you know, maybe they're about the thoughts, maybe they're about your physical sensations, maybe they're about the past, the present, the future. Could be changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be anticipating something or having something coming up. You could be traveling or visit, you know, whatever it is that's keeping you awake. I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so you could fall asleep. And what I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place so you could do that. And the way I do it is I try to, first I say, like, you know, like when someone does the thing with their hands and they say, go ahead, check it out on your own. But they actually mean it instead of saying, I'll just be standing over here. I mean, I will be standing over here talking nonsense, but you can check it out. Like I've smoothed, I've patted, and I've rubbed down the safe place. I'm imagining, like, what if there was like a picnic park where, now this is just an idea. Again, this might be one of my better ideas. I just came up with it and it's barely formed. But because I've come up with Tube Town, that was not a theme park, but something like one of those bouncy house places, but with just inner tubes. Take it on down to Tube Town. I know I came up with a couple other ones like Tube Town, but I can't remember what they were. Something with, I don't know, wasn't there one where, like, I don't know, like you crumble up paper or something? I don't think I came up with that one, but something like it where you say, okay, well, that's just crumbling paper. This one would be the picnic, not a park picnic in a park. This is picnic park. It's picnic park. Is that where the people lived in that? Was that where? I don't know what that show was with. It was on PBS. Oh no, that was a movie, and now I'm thinking of the show that's similar. No, this is Picnic Park. It's a park you go for picnics, and the best part is, I guess especially if you're the first people there, you get your choice of picnic places, and that's what I do when I show. I say, okay, like maybe we eliminate like you give us a list of your requests, and I say, okay, well, we have 4 picnic areas to choose from that may fit your desire, already set up, ready to go. And then I do that thing with my hands. Seems like it wouldn't be I mean, I'm just being honest. I say, well, this kind of feels a little classy because it wouldn't be. I don't know if I could be a patron of this invention I just came up with. So maybe instead. Here's something, well, probably not appropriate for all of us to do, except if you're meeting friends for a picnic. There you go. So let's put a positive spin on it that costs us nothing. Here's the thing. In this, talk about a great second or third date, like, not that I have a lot of, but so you could do that. This is the exact example of what I was trying to explain in a concise way that I have been unable to do. But okay, let's say you're either meeting a romantic partner, a third or fourth date, or a group of friends or family for a picnic in a park. Now in your head you say, oh, we're going to Picnic Park. And you say, and then you could, if you get there first, you say, welcome to Picnic Park. I've scouted out a few locations for our picnic, and I'd like to present them to you. And you could present them, and you just do that with your hands. You say, this is a... what are those things called? A picnic table here. It's got this walnut tree. But this is option 1, Walnut Grove, even though there's only one tree. And then you go over here. Well, this I call patchy grass. It's a patchy area with some grass and some patches. And this is over, it's a distance away from that kid's playground, but it's has an overlook of a noisy playground overlook, I call this area. But the key is each time you do that thing with your hands where you're presenting it in a non-threatening way, where you say, check it out and let me know. Oh, let's go to option 4. I never thought of any of them. Option 4 is super shady, but I'm not 100, so tough to tell the temperature, between the, but we could easily scoot the shady or not shady grove. This is our most flexible area because we can put it in the shade or we can move it. Also, I'm told the sun moves throughout the day. And so we'll have to be aware of that, the sun moving, Shady Grove, or not Shady Grove. You choose your own, choose your own adventure of Shady Groves. That's our 4th spot. What do y'all think? But you just do that thing with your hands every time. That's what I do with my safe place. After I smooth it, I pat it, I rub it down. I do that. Then I send it across the deep, dark night. I use these lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. Just went on a few. That's where I get mixed up. I go off topic. I talk about something when I'm supposed to be talking about something else. And then I say, wait, what was it? What was that? I can't remember. Oh, anyway, I thought of this. Those are pointless meanders and superfluous tangents. And they're all here to keep you company while you fall asleep. That's a couple things you need to know about this podcast, or more than a couple, because I guess a couple symbolizes two. A picnic worth of things you need to know about this podcast. One, this is a podcast doesn't really put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. I'm here to be your, picnic ground presenter, your boar friend, your boar bae, your boar sib, your boar bud, your boar bestie, your boar burr. Your friend in the deep, dark night, and to talk while you optionally listen. That's the other thing. This is a podcast you don't need to listen to. There's no pressure to fall asleep and no pressure to listen. or to pay attention. You could pay attention. I'll be here to the very end if you can't sleep or you need a break during the day. But if you don't feel like listening, you could turn me down, or you could just not really listen to me. You say, Though if you kind of barely listen, that's when it works best, because you're just kind of picturing me walking around at picnic grounds. You say, okay, that's barely engaging. That's a barely engaging thought you're presenting to me. And I could kind of be barely engaged with it. And that's the idea. And then I keep you distracted and you drift off to sleep. I keep you company. It feels less alone in the deep, dark night. The reason I make the show is twofold. One, I think I said it earlier, you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a place you could rest. You deserve a bedtime you don't dread, that you could look forward to or feel at least neutral about. And if I can provide that for you, that's important to me, because you deserve a good night's sleep, and your life will be better if you start getting the sleep you need. Your life will be more manageable, and the world you live in will be a better place. That makes our whole world a better place. That's a pretty nice thing. But I also make the show because I can relate, tossing, turning, mind racing trouble, getting to sleep trouble, staying asleep, still dealing with that trouble staying asleep. This week it's dream related. And not always bad dreams. 2 nights ago, it was one of those dreams, you know what I'm saying? It starts with an N and ends with the name of a young horse. No, sorry to confuse you. Mare was I don't know, maybe it's a female horse. I don't know anything about horse definitions. But last night it was more, it was weird. I was like trying to find somebody in a New England vacation area, but there was like 4 different nearly identical hotels, and I didn't know. I was under the impression someone said, "Hey, can you drop these kids off at this room?" And it had a C at the end, so it was like 44C, but it had 4 numbers. And there was like bunk beds, and I didn't know who I was dropping these kids off to. They weren't babies. They were like, I don't know, a preteen and an elementary type age kid. And the first place, and it wasn't early in the morning, but we woke some people up, and I said, "These are your kids. Hey, go ahead." And they said, the person was like, "What? Why are you waking us up?" You open the door, and it was a hotel, but it wasn't. And it was fancy, but there was bunk beds, and that was the only thing in the rooms. Anyway, enough about me. But yeah, then I said, "Well, isn't this room 4414C?" They said, "Yeah." And but these hotels were all interrelated, confusing stuff. But it wasn't one of those dreams that resolved. As soon as I went back, I woke up, I said, "Well, that's frustrating." And my brain, my dream state said, "Well, I think we could go for a little more frustration once you fall back asleep." One of those repetitive cycling dreams. A dream come true. But so I can relate to not being able to sleep, or not being able to fall asleep, or not being able to stay asleep. And I know how it feels. So that's why I make the show. Now, a couple things to know in addition to those 2 things. This podcast does not work for everybody, but it almost works for no one on the first try. I mean, I do hear from people it works for on the first try, and that's great. But I think the people that are the most dedicated, involved listeners in that, do the most for the show, they found the show hard to get into at first because it's so different. It took a few tries till they realized, oh, he's serious when he says just kind of barely listen, but he'll talk the whole time, and he's barely trying to engage us. It's just not something that comes natural to anyone but me. And so putting the car in neutral, but knowing it's going to go somewhere without you driving, that's tough to get used to. So it does take a couple times. I'm also not everybody's cup of tea. So if you already loathe me, it's understandable. I mean, if you could give it a few tries, just give it a few tries, because I'm not kidding when I say hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have said, "I didn't like the show," and then, I listened 2 more times, or I came back after a year. They support the show. So give it a few tries and see how it goes for your benefit. But if you already beyond loathe me, you're probably already not listening. But just in case you are, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you has other sleepy audio on there and sleep podcasts you could check out. Because you still deserve a good night's sleep, whether you like me or not. That's totally okay. I don't, I'm not everybody's, that's just, not everybody wants to barely listen to a man ramble about imaginary, picnic grounds. Believe it or not. The fans of the show are like, what? Really? There's people out there that don't want to listen to you imaginarily present one idea, then try to remember another idea, then go to a new idea where you're walking around opening your hands and showing off picnic grounds that are real, that you're imagining making up names for on those imaginary dates that go on. That's not, you believe it or not everybody's into that, and that's okay. And most people at the first time say, this is supposed to put me to sleep. Really? It's this is a podcast that doesn't put you to sleep. It keeps you company while you drift off. I'm more here to be your friend, like I said. So those are a few things. The other thing that really throws people off, understandably, but it's based around the goals around the show, is the structure of the podcast. The goal of the show is to help as many people as it can that it's going to work for and to be as flexible as it can be. And so the show starts off with a greeting. The purpose of that is so you feel seen and welcome. You say, oh, just like I said, I might check this out. Just like that picnic ground. You say, oh, well, I could see that. Oh, well, I think I will check out this patchy grass because we got blankets. I'm feeling it. I'm not feeling the patchy grass, but being in the patchy grass, but having, something between my ASS and the ground and the patchy grass. So yeah, let's check it out. So that's kind of this part. I don't know what was it? Oh, so structure of the show. So that's a greeting. Then there's support. And that's because the podcast comes out for free twice a week versus only being subscription only or whatever. Like the sponsors and the listeners who support us enable us to do that for anybody so paying for it's optional. And that's really gives us a great flexibility and that there can be tons of variety of styles of episodes in our podcast feeds, whatever podcast app you're using. So as you become a regular listener, you say, well, I prefer this style episode, or I prefer to set a sleep timer, or whatever it is. So that's the sponsor support and listener support. Then there's support for listeners like you and for communities around the show. Then there's the intro. And for some people, for some reason, people that really loathe the podcast or the concept that it takes a lot of hard work to make this show, and that has, in order for it to be free, that stuff has to happen. They lump the support in with the intro, which goes from about, minute 6 or minute 8 to minute 20. And it's where I try to introduce the podcast, but it takes me forever. I mean, you've been here the whole time, right? And a lot of people wonder, is that self-congratulatory or what? But it's really meant to introduce a new person to the podcast, but also to give you some space to fall asleep in, to ease you into bedtime. Because that's what everything shows is like having a bedtime routine, having a wind down really does work. So for most listeners, they're either getting ready for bed or they're in bed getting comfortable or doing some other activity. And that's what that's what the purpose intro serves. There's a small percentage of people that skip the intro. There's a percentage of people that fall asleep during the intro. There's people that listen to only intros and only stories on Patreon or via subscription. So just kind of see how it goes at first. But the intro is really kind of the twilight period. And you could fall asleep during it. But for most people, it's like a lowering of the volume of the day, some distance. Then there's more support for the show. So again, it can be free. A couple hundred episodes or more than a couple hundred episodes in the archives for free. And then there's our story. Tonight will be an episodically modular story, Nuns in Space. And then there's some thank yous at the end. So it's the structure of the show. That's why I make the show. I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. You're a nice driver. I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to do it for you for free twice a week. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Calm. I don't know if you're like me, where meditating more regularly has been on your intentions and to-do lists at the start of the year and now at the middle of the year. You see, this autumn, I'm going to really start meditating. Well, Calm is here to help you with that because you deserve it. Just like you deserve a good night's sleep, Calm wants to help you jumpstart and continue your meditation practice and find peace of mind today. We're partnering with Calm, the #1 mental wellness app, to give you the tools that improve the way you feel. Reduce stress and anxiety through guided meditations, improve focus with curated music tracks, and rest and recharge with Calm's imaginative sleep stories for children and adults. There's even new daily movement sessions designed to relax your body and uplift your mind. And if you go to calm.com/sleep with me, you'll get a special offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, and new content is added every week. Over 100 million people around the world use Calm to take care of their minds. Calm is ready to help you stress less, sleep more, and live a happier, healthier life. And I really like the recommended collections. I don't know if you've ever opened the Calm app, you go to recommended collections. There's a little something in there for everybody, whether it's personal growth, improving your focus. One thing I love trying is developing gratitude. There's a collection of stuff all around gratitude, tons for you to choose from, even a course. So check it out. And for listeners of Sleep With Me, Calm is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/sleep with me. That's Calm, CALM.com/sleep with me for 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library. That's calm.com/sleep with me. Thanks, everybody. Sleep With Me is brought to you by Progressive. Have you tried the Name Your Price tool yet? It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. It's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to find a rate that works for you. It's just one of the many ways you could save with Progressive. Get your quote today at Progressive.com and see why 4 out of 5 new auto customers recommend Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. All right, everybody, it is time for our episodically modular series, Nuns in Space. It's a new series. It's not a new series. This is what my brain just said. I just didn't know what to say there. I apologize. My brain went blank on me. Nuns in Space is a episodically modular series with just a hint of seriality. It takes place in space. There's actually, the nuns are tertiary characters. No, not to, they do play a role, or they do exist in the series, but that's more of the title. And the main characters are Stan, a freestyle soda machine, and so much more. A being whose physical form just happens to be a freestyle soda machine. And not from one of those switcheroo movies like Big or whatever, or Soda Machine. Oh, yeah, that one we talked, I Was a Teenage Soda Machine. That was one of the spec scripts I never wrote, but I would if I lived in the 1950s and if they had freestyle soda machines. You see, you took a time machine and you went back to the 1950s and you set up a freestyle soda machine, and it still didn't work out for you, huh? My therapist would probably say that, because they say, yeah, it turns out like a soda fountain, you can't customize it as much, but people didn't even know what, they said, I don't want to drink Powerade. That sounds like battery juice or something. And he said, but yeah, you can put cherry vanilla into blueberry Powerade. And they said, that doesn't make any sense. And then also I didn't bring any extracts with me. And they said, why are you dressed like someone? Turns out they said, well, you're dressed too casual to be in this soda shop. I was trying to introduce the Sleep With Me series here. So, freestyle soda machine, that's Stan. Stan's sidekick and best friend is Scooter. And the basic thing of the series is Stan, it takes place in outer space. Stan is at some point during the procedural will say Stan's mind or memory gets wiped every episode, but Stan awakens on a planet or comes to realization on a planet where there's something going on that Stan has to fix. That's a procedure. I don't remember. How'd I get here? Oh, there's something going on this planet that's not right. Let me try to fix it. But Stan's used to having his sidekick Scooter with him, and Scooter's not there. So that kind of makes it harder, even though a sidekick isn't a, primary problem solver, a primary problems, PPS, as we say in the problem-solving business, that I'm not in, but Problem Solvers United banned me from using their name, the Society of Problem Solvers. They said, we've solved our problem. We've banned you from our meetings. I said, but they're imaginary, and they only take place in my mind. And they said, no, they only take place in your imagination. And yes, we've asked you not to come to our meetings. And then I said, wait a second. There's a society of problem solvers, problem solving in my imagination, and I'm not invited. I gotta go now. And then they said, we've canceled all meetings and all problem solving. They said, they leaned into it. They said, we're solving things by helping you in your problem creation business. And I said, terrific. That's just what I need. So Stan could use Stan's sidekick, Scooter, to solve the problem. But Scooter's not there because Scooter's on a spaceship with the nuns from his childhood. Those are the nuns in space. They're flying through space. They're in command of a spaceship on a mission. None of that we know where they're going or why. But Scooter's their only crew member. And he has to help the nuns, not because he wants to or feels obligated to or because he says, oh, you know what, I'm here to be of service. No, Scooter's memory has not been wiped. So Scooter knows that he has to do whatever the nuns say to help them in order to get to Stan, to help Stan. And a lot of this is beyond some of this, like Stan has powers that may be cosmic, may be demigod-like, we don't know. And it doesn't really make sense why Scooter would solve one of the nuns' problems and then somehow portal and end up with Stan. But, sensibility is not, that's for a Jane Austen book, not for a Sleep With Me podcast. Sensibility is not my specialty. In fact, the Society Sensibility also came, they said, they gave up years ago. Before the problem solvers, they stuck around. They said, we thought we'd be able to solve some of your problems. And I said, no, the Society of Sensibility, I think that was like 6 months old. They said, oh boy, we could see what's coming. So that's how I make a senseless show. They say, how do you get Sleep With Me so nonsensical? They say there's not a bone in my body that has a touch of sensibility to it. And then the person said, actually, I just would like you to know that bones don't actually have anything to do with sensibility. And I said, thanks, point of order brain. I'm trying to introduce the sleep podcast, also trying to buy time for our Hollywood announcer who's here, drives all the way from Los Angeles in one trip because they say don't, except for stopping for a restroom, and doing whatever stuff, so maybe not one trip, but I like to say it that way. Mr. Antonio Banderas. Thank you. This is the ladies, this is a gentleman, this is the boys, this is the girls, the friends beyond the binary. It's time to get spacey with nuns and space, a space swoosh. Thank you. Today it was one trip, Scooter, so I could be here on time to help put everyone to sleep. Thanks, Antonio. That's a volunteer role that Antonio fills. And I don't want to speak for Antonio, except to say something similar to what he said. He said, of all the people in Hollywood I've worked with over the years, you offer the most challenges. And then he laughed in that, with his way of where his laugh makes you feel good. And he patted me on the back and he said, my problems, or what do you say? My personal growth opportunities are in abundance here. And he hugged me like that's what's so wild about him. He was great. He's grateful. So because I love to get a lot of emails like, how can you put Antonio Banderas through this? This is a testament to Antonio's character, but it's also besmirching your own. And I say, oh, no. You have it all wrong. Antonio's graciousness comes from my ability to create situations where he has to be gracious. I keep him in practice. I mean, it's natural. It's unplanned. But it all worked out, cosmic. You talk about cosmic things. I expect letters from all of anyone that worked. They say, wow, I wondered why, it was a total accident. I spilled that coffee on his shoes. It was cold coffee. It was cold brew. Don't worry. But, and he it was like, it was the greatest moment of my life. I never felt more seen, just having an accident with Antonio Banderas. And, I wondered, how he got that way. It should be reassuring to all of us that that's possible, right? It's not just natural. I mean, I'm sure there's some naturalness to it, but really, he was willing to grow. And one of the growth opportunities he has every single week is when he drives up here to help record the show. So I just want to point to Antonio Scooter. Thank you I'm grateful for our friendship and the challenges it brings me. Friendship. Yeah. Thanks. That's Antonio Banderas. This is Nuns in Space, everybody. Oh, hey, Pen Pal. It's me, Stan. And I'm here in darkness, Pen Pal. But I've been in total darkness, so that's why you didn't hear from me. It reminds me, Scooter used to say that he would, when he stays at a hotel. Now, he said now that he doesn't drink anymore, Pen Pal, it still happens, but not as often. But he used to tell me this. He would, when he stayed at a hotel, he liked everything to be dark, including the bathroom. And that he wouldn't turn on the bathroom light in the hotel, but sometimes he would close the door behind him. And then he would do his business. Pen Pal, I'm assuming you wouldn't want to share the hotel room with him back then. But then he would forget, he would lose himself, and then he wouldn't know where he would be in total darkness in a bathroom, not knowing he was in a bathroom in total darkness, but and then he wouldn't be able to find his way out always. And he says it still happens occasionally, but not anymore, Pen Pal, because he brings a motion-activated nightlight with him so that he doesn't have to turn on the bathroom light. But some hotels have that figured out as well, Pen Pal. So my situation was similar to that. So what happened, Pen Pal, is that I became aware that I was in total darkness. And also, I was like, how long have I been, just like Scooter? I said, how long have I been here in total darkness? Was I resting? I don't remember where am I? I mean, I didn't even know I was in total darkness. I thought, I had to run some, run to make sure. So, okay, Pen Pal. So then I realized, oh no, I'm in total darkness. And at first I said, where am I, right? And I tried to scan the area, and that took a while because I didn't know where I knew I was on a planet with gravity because I was in, but it was not, those details aren't important, Pen Pal. And eventually I scanned this planet I was on, and Pen Pal, you won't believe this. I don't know if I've seen this in a movie before. But the planet is is it a horn of plenty or a cornucopia? Where you say, I don't know what those are. I say, well, it's similar to an organic funnel, is this planet. And I was on the deep inside of the funnel. or a cone would be another example. A funnel's like a cone. But if you look at it from the outside, as eventually I did, it looks more like a horn of plenty. I don't know what those, I think those are called cornucopias, but just the wicker part. And the sun, so we were facing away from the sun that this planet orbits. Now, eventually, the planet, you say, again, a lot of people assume all planets are round. Incorrect. At least in this situation. And does this planet have an axis it rotates on? It does, but it rotates, but so eventually the cornucopia, so I was on the inside of the cornucopia. I was one of the plenty, I was in the horn of plenty. I'll tell you, there was only one thing, and there was plenty of it in here, pen pal. In the darkness was noise. There's so much noise. And eventually we turned towards the sun enough that the day started. Now I was deep down there, but it was still lit up a little bit. It was still dark, but I eventually made my way, towards the outer edges of the planet. And you could think of it on a micro scale. Pen pal, it might be easier, even though it's a pretty big planet. If you just think of it as a small horn of plenty, whatever, not to scale, it might be easier to say, so I got there, saw the sun. And the good thing is it rotates slower, so the days are because the opening's not the same as being on a spherical planet. So, but the other thing was, it didn't change, the noise. There was so much noise, just noises, and not just one noise. That's what I'm saying, noises, and not just like a space echo or some sort of wind. And, and there was, sometimes Scooter asks me stuff that doesn't seem to relate to anything. There was bioluminescence, and that's actually one of the things. Luckily, I have some ability to be bioluminescent. And so, anyway, like I was able to get energy. I'm able to get energy, pen pal. I don't remember ever this happening, but I can get energy from darkness. I don't know if that's what bioluminescence is. I should know the definition of that, but, okay, so, planet's really noisy. Then I realize, that, not only am I on a planet that's like a funnel, or a horn, one of those, a cone-shaped, funnel-shaped, cone-shaped planet, though in an organic shape. So more like, I think, a horn in the traditional sense. But anyway, so then I realized all inside the horn, we're in the horn, though you can go to the edge of the horn. I have gone to the edge of the horn. I've sent out, drones. The outside of the horn is kind of barren, and it does get a lot of asteroid activity. Another source of noise, but not the only source. But inside, not only is this planet a cone or a funnel, there's ones everywhere on the ground. Very volcanic looking, most of the geography here. Okay, so there's a lot of noise, and then I said, wait a second, these noises, it's because, part of it is that they're trapped in the cone, maybe, and that's why it's so noisy, because there is no hole at the other end. I went and looked, and so it's not total, saying it's a funnel is actually inaccurate, because it doesn't have a funnel hole. So it is more of a cone or a horn of plenty. I don't think those ones necessarily always have a hole at the end, a cornucopia. So anyway, I said, okay. And then I realized eventually, I said, okay, well, what if I could get all the noises into these smaller cones, start separating them? And I did that, and but I don't know what to do, pen pal, because now all the sounds, I could still hear them. Like, now it's like, not only is there, right now when I'm recording this, it's total darkness again. And it's silent, because all the noises, I mean, I can hear the noises kind of, but but it's not so noisy anymore because I got all the noises into these cones across the planet. Those are also plugged, so the noises are just kind of in there. And if you go up to one, now if you unplug it, the noise just kind of comes out, right? But you could go to the larger hole and then kind of listen in, like listening to a shell. But if you open up the more tighter hole, then the sounds just spill out and they start running around the inside of the planet again. But I do have a plan now because when I get close to any of them, they seem to, the noises don't like being stuck in the cones. But I said, okay, like I got to separate you. But the thing is, I'm lonely, pen pal. It's, as always, I don't know where my best friend and sidekick Scooter is. I'm stuck on a planet that now went from too loud to now it's too quiet, and also like an underlying sense that the noises are unhappy with me. And the planet does suck in new sounds all the time, so then I have to catch those noises, which they passes sometime. But then now there's darkness. I just say, okay, Stan, just wait till the next day starts. And we'll rest. But I do have a plan. I just wanted to tell you my feelings, or if, in case Scooter's listening to this, that you come and hurry up, Scooter, and get over here would be nice, and offer some help, you know. But okay, so the noises are unpleasant or happy, but I figure, okay, they want to be sounds. They're just noises now. So my plan, and I kind of already started doing it, is because pen pal, so I have my nanobots that I use for my arms and my legs, but I seem to have more resources like the bioluminescent power, and I can think of stuff, and then like it starts to happen. So what I'm going to do is, or it's already in the process of happening, is going to each cone that contains its own sound noises. Oh, because what I did was like I would chase around a sound. Like, let's say there was a sound that sounded like a so then I would chase that sound till I caught it. But you already know, pen pal, because you're smart, that there's some component. That's a noise, but there's component sounds. Now, I learned this even though Scooter's not here. I remember him telling me how much trouble he had with phonics, and I don't like I can only tell you what his experience was. He didn't, like, he's dyslexic, so he had trouble with phonics. And I guess that was like another chapter in his imaginary about the trouble with phonics. But phonics was I think it was either, I don't know if it was breaking words into their component sounds or taking the component sounds that make up words or the component letters or whatever. But like, change, CH, change. I don't know. That's what I like. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't know if I don't think we're doing phonics because these aren't words. They're noises that we're making into sounds. But right now it's too quiet. It's too quiet, Scooter. So if you could get here, I could use some noise. Like, that's the thing. I could use some friendly noise, Scooter. Hey, Scooter, I could use some. Okay, Stan, friendly noise. I'm having a dream. Stan needs some friendly noise. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, sisters, that I was sleeping. I'll be right up. Oh, hi, sisters. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was sleeping, but thank you for waking me. And okay, slow down, sisters. I'm getting confused. You're saying about gold stars. Yeah, you seem very intense about this. Gold star shortage. Okay, so there's a gold star shortage. Now, I've heard of, like, I know from Superman, there's like red suns and yellow suns and maybe an orange sun, but not sure which one would be a gold sun. Oh, no, gold stars. Right, but the sun is a star. No, gold stars on the ship. Okay, let's slow down. So, can you show me or tell me an example of, oh, okay. You're talking about the gold stars you used to grade papers. Like in school, sisters, did you see School of Rock, the movie or the musical? Like Summer, you're talking about Summer's gold stars, because I don't have a lot of familiarity with gold stars, sister. I do remember getting a couple silver stars, which really feels like unless you only give out silver stars, that's like kind of the most passive aggressive thing I've ever heard in my life. Other than those bronze stars I got. Yes, sister, you're right about that. You know that, like it'd be great if you just said the stars. Oh, they do have meaning. Okay, to you, the gold stars have meaning. Okay, I did get my hands on some gold stars once, though I think I just made myself into a constellation. Maybe that's what I could be. I don't know. That's not a very witty costume, but it's a crab. What if this might actually work. If you get a crab costume and cover it with gold stars or stars, you could say you're a crab nebula. I just thought of that. So that might be one of my better ideas I've ever had in my entire life. Could I get a gold star but you're short of gold stars and you don't have any others. You're short of, okay, focus on the problem. Your sisters are short on gold stars. Can I just ask, since we're on a spaceship and not in a classroom, for navigation and feedback, okay, that's all I need to know. You're right, sisters. All I need to know is you're short of gold stars. I just want to make sure it wasn't because that's the thing, sisters, like your hobbies, like you have that craft station, right? Okay, let's go over to the craft station and get some construction paper out. Now, this is marigold. Would this be gold? Could you consider this gold? Or this yellow? This is goldenrod, this construction paper. Or I could get some crayons and it might work. Okay. Okay, so, yeah, let me just try to cut. How big a star? Is this? That's way too big? Okay, so smaller. That's how many points is in a normal gold? Because that again, how many points on the star? Okay. That's going to be sisters. I know this is. I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask just because I know it's good for me to. Do you have any left-handed scissors? Okay, I heard you gasp, but that's the answer. I mean, it's just because I don't know if I can cut stars that small. Okay. What if, wait a second. You do have you have a star stamp right here, sister. So I'll start stamping out these stars and I'm stamping out stars. I'm stamping these stars right out of my hair. There are stars in my hair, sisters. Okay, just focus on the stars. It's just hard for me sisters, I'm really getting a lot of stars here. So I probably have a couple hundred already. And I can keep producing this. Oh, okay. The stars don't stick. Yes, I know that, sister. That's because they're on construction paper. Well, you couldn't you need to stick them on things. Couldn't you use some glue or some tape? Like, here's the glue. And, oh boy, sisters, remember all the times I had with glue? I used to like to have a couple sips of glue because it's, 100% good for you according to the label. No, it's not. It's not bad for you. So then I'd say I could drink this. The other thing I like to do, sister, was pretend I had an extra layer of skin. I loved doing that. That was like one of the ways I would get through math when you weren't looking, which was rare. Normally I'd get caught, but I would spread a second layer of glue skin, and I called it my new skin. Then I could peel my skin off. But it wasn't real. But oh boy, sisters, I recommend if you're stressed out, I would recommend doing it. You see if you could create a second palm. Especially when you get a nice coverage and you can peel like a good amount. There's something about peeling it right by your wrists. And then, do that while I figure out how I'm going to make sticky gold stars. Okay, we have glue sticks here. Okay, but you're saying that glue stick, that's too much glue. Oh, because you can't get glue on the chart except where the star's going? Oh, boy. Sisters, this feels like busy work. Do you like, okay, you're right. I'm not here to question. I'm only here to okay. So glue stick, they didn't, I didn't really have a lot of access to paste, but I see some paste here. Kind of sisters, did you ever think about this? That like a glue stick is just like a tube of paste, you know what I'm saying? So what if I take, here's a great idea, sister. I think this will work. I'm going to take the paste. Also, I never have been able to play with paste. My whole life, I dreamed of having unlimited access to paste just to do this, but now I'm actually doing it to help. What if I take the paste and I roll it into tiny balls that are smaller than the star, and then we put it on the star, and then you push the star onto the charts, and I can put them in one of these baggies maybe. Or here's what I'll do. I can put it, I don't know if they'll retain their shape. I could do them on demand. But for the time being, yeah, okay, I'll do 80 of them. This is a very specific number, sister. So, yeah, I'll get 80 of these stars ready. Oh, you're right. It's not going to keep. Okay, sister. Well, two out of three were pleased. This will work for right now, your immediate needs, but they won't store. Okay, so at least we'll get through the next few moments together. Okay, sisters, you just exchanged a look. What was it? There are some gold stars from the 60s? Okay, I don't understand. In storage somewhere, you have gold stars from the 60s that you were handing out at Woodstock? Oh, no, that you confiscated. Someone else was handing them out at Woodstock, and you confiscated them. I'm not following you. At Woodstock, why are you doing quotes? Are you saying figuratively at Woodstock, or you actually confiscated these gold stars at Woodstock? Okay. Oh, so, but they have, okay, so I'm not, okay, sisters, so I'm not following you. You don't like the shape of the stars I cut anyway, or that I stamped. Okay, so you want actual gold stars, but with so it was more okay. So you want me to go get those stars out of storage and then put my paste balls on the back of them on demand. That I can do. That's what being a crew member is. I'll just go find those gold stars. Let's see if I could find them in the filing area. Confiscated at Woodstock. Oh, boy, there's a lot in here. What are they? Okay, a lot of clothing. And there's gold stars. And, they're in like plastic at Woodstock. Okay, now I get it. And they can't. So, if I take the back of these stars, I got to get to Stan. That's the thing I was trying to figure out. I did try to sip some glue and eat paste, and none of that got me to Stan. But I'm betting if I lick the back of these stars, either I'll find myself with Stan, or I'll be on some other legendary journey in my mind to Stan. So yeah, let me just. Whoa, boy. Wow, that's fast. I'm feeling groovy as no one... Stan, man, there's like spacey noises. Scooter, where you been? I'm here, Stan, and I think other than, this is what happens normally first for me anyway, is the auditory thing. Scooter, that's not your imagination, that's real. Yeah, there's like sounds and noises everywhere. Like we're in some sort of quadraphonic Scooter. It's much more than quadraphonic. Where are we? Are we inside of a bugle? Scooter, what do you mean? Like, well, I can see your display. You got you're monitoring the planet, right? Your Scooter, yeah, that's the planet we're on, but it's more of a cornucopia. Well, it looks it's a different color, but it looks exactly like a bugle. Scooter, a bugle's like a trumpet. No, like a corn bugle, a bugle that's a snack, Stan. Scooter, I don't snack. I'm a soda machine. Wow, another part of your development I've failed to provide for you. I'm sorry, Stan. Scooter, it's okay. Can you tell me what a bugle is, though? It's like a corn snack. It's like a chip that's shaped in this shape. And you're correct. It's a chip like thing that's shaped. It's like I don't know. That's shaped like, I just want to call it a bugle, but it's shaped like a cornucopia, an organic one, like this planet. And there seems to be kind of bugles all over this planet, and we're inside of the bugle, huh? Scooter, we are inside the bugle. Actually, that's an easy way to say it, Scooter. Yeah, sorry I never gave you, and I haven't had bugles in a while, but I got bugles on my mind now. Anyway, Stan, sorry I'm late. Well, Scooter, you're here now. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so you're on a strange planet full of bugles and noise. Scooter sounds, actually. Scooter, very upset sounds, by the way. That's why, like, you're hearing them. They're, the sounds are, I'm having some trouble, Scooter. I need your help. Okay, I'm here to help, Stan. So walk me through things and tell. Okay, Scooter, did you listen to my message? Oh, yeah, I did. Or now it's popping in my brain like I just listened to it. So you were, oh boy, that's a flashback to phonics. The only thing that gave me more was penmanship and cleaning my desk. But okay, so the last I heard was you, as your pen pal, the last you told the pen pal was that you were taking noises and separating them into their component sounds. Yes, Scooter, we did that successfully. And there's so many of these bugles on this planet that I was able, now sounds keep coming in from outer space, Scooter. And so I'm capturing all of them. Then I'm separating them into their component sounds and putting them into their own individual bugles. And so, but none of the sounds liked that. What don't you think they liked? Scooter, I'm pretty sure that the sounds want to be understood. So they went from a noise to a sound. And so what I haven't been able to do, which I was about to do, now you're here, it's great timing because you can help, is so some of the sounds are agitated. Some of them are colliding with one another or trying to get out of their cones. Some are like basically drifting into nothingness, Scooter. So that's why I wanted to act hastily. So I'm creating a virtual world so that then the sounds can be that I can then understand the sounds, whether they want to be noises or sounds, because there's no physical manifestation of them. But now that we've broken them into their component parts, and then they could, Scooter, like me, I want the sounds to have a chance to have some self-actualization. Okay, Stan, so you've been wrangling sounds, and now you're processing them in a virtual world inside of you or something. Scooter, yes, in a virtual world inside me that we're going to go into because I've been doing analysis. So actually, the thing is, Scooter, the sounds don't realize it. And I've been using a lot of processing. I've already understood all the sounds, Scooter. The virtual world. Oh, okay, now I'm starting to pop. That'll just give them a chance to understand themselves. And like, they're already, Scooter, I already understand them because they're just sounds. They're just noises, sounds, component sounds. Okay, so you're taking analog sounds and digitizing them? Scooter, don't worry. This is lossless analysis. Okay. And how are you finding the sounds are reacting to this? Scooter, the sounds, they still seem ornery. Okay, well, I don't think I need to go into a virtual world of ornery sounds. Scooter, you're supposed to help me, though. Okay, Stan, let me think here. So, basically, you got to this planet, and you just heard a lot of noise. You didn't like the noise. This planet seems to be the perfect shape to collect space noise. So it's collecting noise from outer space. And it also is like, it's like kind of being in an ear or something. So you were hearing all the noise. Also, the day and night. I liked your hotel analogy, Stan. Oh boy, were those the days? It still happens sometimes, though. Yeah, pitch dark in the bathroom. Don't do it. But so, because I would drift. I think I would fall asleep standing up or something, Stan, and then I would wake up and I would have no idea. Okay, so it was noisy. Then you caught all the sound, you collected the sounds, or gave them a place to live. I think that's how you pitched it. Then you said, "Don't worry, I'm going to understand you." Then you broke them into smaller pieces, like a lot of people do with goals. If your goal is to understand the sounds, break them into your component. Okay, that makes sense too. Then you used some of your assets to analyze the sounds so they would be understood, like on all of their attributes. Scooter, Scooter, I think, are you sure you're Scooter? You've been listening. Yeah, I think you're rubbing off on me, Stan. And then, okay, but they shouldn't have complimented me because now I forgot everything we were talking about. Scooter, they're inside. All the sounds are inside me. Digital versions. I did not. They still exist in their cones. Okay, and the sounds are fully understood. And you're hoping by giving them access to you, like then they'll self-actualize and then they'll relax. But they haven't relaxed yet. They really don't like something about this. Scooter, correct. And I just don't understand that. I'm trying to keep explaining it to them. We're just trying. I understand you 100%. You know, Stan, this reminds me of the story I heard once upon a time. It was a story I heard about a herd. Scooter, is this one of those stories you make up on the spot and then try to figure out, like you're using to figure out because you're confused and buying time? So once upon a time, Stan, there was 3 shepherds, right? And they each had their own individual flock of sheep. Okay, Scooter. And they all had their flocks in the same generalized area. And I don't understand flock behavior, Stan, and this story isn't about flock behavior, but just to make it efficient, their flocks, for the most part, stuck together. And that was not an issue at the time of the beginning of this story. They were all able to live in harmony, but kind of separate. I mean, they would have, shepherd, they'd meet up or something. But they each had their own flocks, and there was enough grass for everybody. Okay, Scooter, that's just the setup for the story. Correct. And now, the important part of the story is, so there was one shepherd named Lonnie. Scooter, is the name important? No. Lonnie the shepherd. And Lonnie had a very quiet flock of sheep, known as the quietest flock of sheep in the world. But that wasn't by accident. Lonnie had trained her flock to be quiet and only make a lot of noise when there was a reason to, like if there was a reason that Lonnie needed to wake up particularly and take care of stuff, like something was, the flock needed some attention. Okay, Scooter. And is there, no, so that's Lonnie's flock. Worked pretty good. Seems like it. Lonnie would hear something. Lonnie would get up. Okay. Then there was another shepherd. Scooter, seems like you're making, there was another shepherd once upon a time named Franny. And again, just that Franny was a shepherd's name. And Franny's flock, and this is, it makes the story easier, in contrast to Lonnie's flock, Franny's flock, Franny had kind of plussed what Lonnie had done in a different way and kind of taught Franny's sheep to make certain sounds when they wanted certain things. Now, not a lot, but if they were hungry, they would baa one way. If they were thirsty, they would baa another way. If one of them was tired, they would baa another way. And if one of them like stubbed their toe, they would baa or make another sound. So a basic way of communicating was like what Franny had. And then there was a third shepherd named Tony with an I. Yeah, a shepherd named Tony with an I. And Tony didn't seem to really care to train Tony's sheep to make any sounds. Tony's sheep just made whatever sounds they wanted to make. And Tony kind of found it amusing that the other shepherds worked so hard at it. Tony had other things Tony was working on. But the one thing was Tony actually liked the noises that the sheep made. And that's not to say that Lonnie and Franny disliked sheep noises. But Tony would lie there and listen to the sheep, not as a pastime, but I guess maybe as a pastime. And so Tony wasn't really worried about what kind of the purpose of the sounds was, but could get a general sense, not just with the sounds, body language and all that. But Tony just really listened to the sheep, but not listening for meaning, but just listening to the noise. So Tony's sheep were noisier, Scooter? No, I think if Tony, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, in this, it's not a part, yes, but that's, yes, Tony's sheep were noisier, and Tony would listen to that noise. I don't know, how would Tony, that would be, okay, Stan, so then one day, a great storm, Scooter, you're just coming up with this. So then one day, a great storm came. And actually, the only way they knew about it was because Lonnie's sheep started making noise, even though the storm hadn't gotten there. And then Tony's sheep started making noise, we're moving over this way. So Lonnie's sheep kind of gave an early warning. And then Tony's sheep kind of said, let's go this way. Now, they all worked together. So the three shepherds and their flocks said something's happening. I mean, they could tell there was a slight change, but they didn't know, this was before the storm had arrived. And eventually they all went to this really big cave, all three shepherds and all three of the flocks. And a really bad storm came. So it was really dark and it was really stormy, but the cave was dry. And they were in the cave for a while. And eventually the time came for them to kind of head out, right? And it was still dark. The storm had died down, but it was night. But they had had enough, right? Because they weren't in conflict, but they just said, okay, let's get our sheep out. They got to get fed. We're sick of this cave. But then they were in this cave with all of these sheep, right? And for Tony, it wasn't a problem. Tony said, this is, Babs, this is Frenchie, let's go. But as much as you think shepherds would visually know their sheep, when you're in a dark cave, it's hard. But for Tony, it wasn't, because Tony knew all the sounds. Okay, Scooter, so that's the moral. Okay. Then Tony left. And then the other two, they couldn't tell the sheep apart. So at first there was a little bit of a disagreement. Then they had a new idea of let's just stay together. They actually said, well, I'm sensing this would be a partnership. We'll have an even bigger flock. but they were never able to tell their sheep apart, and they went out, and then they did say to each other, like, maybe we could ask next time we're hanging out, Tony, like, be like, and they did, and Tony said, I don't know, it's just sheep, like this, like that's Tony's answer for a lot of this stuff. Why don't you? Because they're just sheep. And they said, you mean like they follow? And I said, no, they're just sheep. It's not a metaphor. It's just a fact. Scooter, I don't understand at all. You're saying these are just noises and just forget the whole thing? No, Stan, I'm saying. Oh, Scooter, I think I figured it out. Okay, Stan, why don't you tell me? I mean, your story didn't help. I mean, your story kind of helped me. No offense. No, it's fine. If I got help to get you, okay, Scooter. I think what you're saying, or maybe you're not saying it, but I just realized I'm trying to understand the sounds, but the sounds don't feel understood. And they don't care if I understand them. They just want to be understood. Like they don't exist for me to tell them I understand them. It's not their job for me to understand them. It's their job to feel understood, which sounds like the same thing, but it's Scooter. It's something totally different. Okay. So I just have to, Scooter. Okay, Stan, wow, something happened even more than Scooter, by giving up on understanding them and making them feel understood. And I was kind of petting them. Like the sheep thing actually helped because I said, oh, okay. Like they were animals. I mean, not actually, Scooter. I actually understand them now. Okay. So they feel understood, but not because you understand them, but also you understand them, which is independent from them feeling understood. But most importantly, they feel understood, but also you understand them. Right, Scooter. Those are two things that are independent, not important. Well, actually, Scooter, the irony is they didn't realize it, but it was important for me to understand them, not for them to feel understood, but to help them. Okay, okay, Stan. So they feel understood, Scooter, and I understand. Okay. So, Scooter, we got a bit of a problem, though. Okay, Stan, tell me more. Scooter, all the sounds are trapped here. They're stuck. And then I stuck them in a smaller thing, but they were already feeling, and they wanted to be understood that they were frustrated that they were stuck, but they didn't care about me understanding they were stuck. They just wanted to be understood that they were stuck. Okay, let's pass over the understanding stuff because I understand. Scooter, I feel okay. Yeah, let's because I want to solve the problem. Yeah, that was an accident, Stan. I'll be honest, but yeah, let's solve the problem. Oh yeah, that's how I feel. I want to solve the problem. I understand, but Scooter, you're really growing up too. Okay, so. Anyway, Scooter, that didn't make me feel understood. I understand you want to bask in the glory of our shared moment there, but let's probably solve this. Okay, Scooter, yeah, you're right. Thanks, Stan. I see what you did there. Scooter, thanks for teaching me by mistakes. Okay, so all the sounds are stuck on this planet. Now... Okay. Stan, can you analyze the makeup of the planet? I know you already did some of that, but is there any part of the planet, Scooter, you're right, this planet is supposed to be a funnel. Okay, I didn't mean to do that, but I was just buying time. Oh, Scooter, so that's it. There's a giant chunk at an asteroid. It's made up of some strange particles that's stuck in that jammed the Scooter. Are Bugles closed? Scooter, sorry, Stan. Yeah, they are closed, but that's usually one of the things you do, especially with your first Bugle. And Stan, if you could imagine what a bugle is, maybe you could virtually have one. You bite it off, and then you make a bugling sound, and then you eat the bugle. But usually you make the bugle into a cone, an open-ended cone or a funnel. But it is closed at first, and you could eat it whether it's open or closed. The other thing, Stan, not to totally take us off topic, that you might want to do is you take each bugle, you take your fingers and you put a bugle on each of your fingers, and then you pretend you're some sort of character with bugle fingers or, cone fingers, or, you could pretend you're someone that travels on a broom with cats with a cauldron. Oh, Scooter, I didn't realize. Okay, that's fun. Okay, so we just have to unclog the funnel, and then these sounds are supposed to be traveling through space, Scooter. They're not supposed to be stuck here. Great, Stan. So what if you push out that clog and push it into the sun, though? Because I know we've got to get rid of this, like this too much of I just have a sense we have to get rid of it. Scooter, won't I? Technically, Scooter, I don't think you realize, like, if we push it in the sun, it'll just be converted into smaller pieces, and then, matter can never be done or undone. It can only change. Stan, I kind of understand you, but, like, for the time being, I think that's the best, because we don't want to unclog it, because the clog could come back. Okay, Scooter, okay. Okay, Scooter, I've done it, and I'm saying goodbye to the sounds, and they're kind of leaving at their own pace, yeah, wow, this is, it's nice, too, the breeze coming through now. Nothing like a space breeze, Stan. Kind of makes me tired and makes me want to rest with you, my friend. And I'll see you again soon, huh? I don't know, Scooter. Well, what do you mean? Let's just rest here together, Stan, and get some sleep as these sounds travel across the galaxy once again. All right, everybody, I want to thank everyone that became a patron recently. Ariana, HB, and Peg, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Celia, Melissa, and Sean, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Kathleen, Corey, and Heather, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Richard, Miss PTY, and Chelsea, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Casey, Beth, and Katie, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Alicia, Graviella, and Ari, thank you. Thanks, and good night. And Mary, Wilbur, and Molly, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks, everybody who supports the show. This is how the podcast is free. It's for people to support the sponsors or support the show directly. What else? The podcast comes out twice a week. Oh, like a free way to help the show, though, or help podcasting overall, is just spread the word about podcasting or sleep with me. But even if you show somebody how to listen to podcasts, they'll find their way to sleep with me if it fits, but maybe they'll find something else they love for the nighttime or the daytime. That's a solid, you could do, everybody, You say, wow, you haven't checked out podcasts? You don't even, you just say, well, let me show you, even if it's, sometimes it takes 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 other people telling them, and then they say, oh, maybe I will check out that podcast or something else, so podcasts, spread the word. And that's it. I want to thank all the Tuck You In sponsors. That's how we're able to have, we used to only have 200 episodes in the archives, and now we got tons more. So that's it. Good night. All right, everybody. And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. So if you listen to this podcast on a regular basis, I have a morning routine, I have an evening routine. I have a lot of different things I do to take care of my mind, my feelings, my body. And talk therapy is one of those things I do every single week with a licensed therapist. Just like if I need legal advice, I talk to a lawyer. If I need my car fixed, I go to a mechanic. I don't try to do it myself. I don't need to do it myself. And that's what I tell people in my personal life all the time, to check out BetterHelp. BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. BetterHelp.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody.